Hello, everyone. I am the Super Pro Top Black, and welcome to another edition of the AEW Report. And you know what? I just want to say, on this day, I see clearly. Everything has come to light, and what has come to light, ladies and gentlemen, is that Wrestle Dream was awesome. And I remember everyone saying like, "Oh, is this pay-per-view really necessary? Are they gonna get a bunch of New Japan people there? Are they gonna be able to pull off something special?" And by the end of that night, if you didn't think that was special, there was something wrong with you. Okay, there was something wrong with you. Now, I would love to dive into every single match on this card, and I actually honestly wanted to, but I feel it's better to just focus on the overall and point out my three favorite matches, as well as talk about that epic entrance at the end. So let's get right to it. My third favorite match of the night. It's tough because there's so many good matches, but I'm actually going to go with the six-man tag: Osprey, Guevara, and Takeshita versus Ibushi, Jericho, and Kenny. Why? Because this match was supposed to be one of the cool down matches. Okay, it came after. It came after a certain dream match, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is the cool down match. Let's just ease into things for a little bit. And the guys are just like, no, screw that. We're gonna do this full tilt, balls to the wall, and just gonna tear the house down. And that's exactly what they did. The people were losing it for this match. I saw some people say this match was a mess. It totally wasn't. All right, the one it all in looked more like a mess than this one ever did. I liked that one at all in once it really got going. And there was a lot going on here that was just a whole lot of fun. Not the least of which is once again the return of Murder Ibushi. Totally awesome. Uh, and even just the entrance of the Don Callis family with that picture of the Last Supper, like, oh my gosh, what the heck was that? I was like, really? Oh wow, that was a choice. But this just went to show just how hard Wrestle Dream went. When the one of the cool down matches after a Dream match just went full tilt. I was like, we're still going to deliver like some epic wrestling, and that's exactly what we got. All right, number two is the match that so many of us are waiting for and hoping was going to be good. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that was so good. And Swerve winning, absolutely the right call. Absolutely what they should have done. And hopefully now Swerve gets pushed into the title picture and to the moon. Hopefully finally fights Keith Lee. I'm just saying. But yeah, this match was so awesome. The skill, the storytelling, the violence. Like, there was a lot going on here, like the dead eye on the ring apron, the sword stomp on the ring apron while Hangman was getting checked out for his arm, the arm snap that I saw came straight out of Lucha Underground, which of course, kill shot. Well, Nana, of course, awesome, and of course, and this the crowd. Oh my gosh, the crowd was so awesome. Like, they turned Hangman Adam Page into a villain. Like, when was the last time Hangman was a villain? And yeah, that's exactly what happened here. Like, it was so awesome. And again, Swerve winning was totally the right choice. Hangman didn't need to win. And now Swerve can say, hey, I beat the former world champ. Maybe go after the current world champ, or maybe another title. Never know. Whose house? Swerve's house. Finally, the best match of the night by far: Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Like, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, even if you're not the biggest fan of technical wrestling, that match was insane. The fluid motions, the constant counters, the shifting from one move to the next, the next, the next, the next. Remember, these guys have only wrestled twice in the last 15 years. And one of them were, no, yeah, 15 years. And one of them was, I think, is it Ring of Honor? Or is it the Indies? It doesn't matter. So yeah, 15 years apart, and they are acting like they have been doing this their entire lives. Everything about that match was awesome. All right, the storytelling of the ring, the call outs from Zack Sabre Jr. Dragon Bang, and then Bryan fighting back. Uh, Moxley, John Moxley on commentary. Everybody, 5 stars, 6 stars in the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, he speaks Spanish. Sorry, Japanese. And he also speaks Spanish. I know that too. Uh, but yeah, Moxley adding to it, and Nigel. Oh my gosh, Nigel McGuinness. I don't know if we're gonna get Bryan versus Nigel, but I want it now more than ever after the commentary of that match. But it was just a technical wrestling masterpiece. All right, it was about the holds, it was about the reverses, it was about the counters, it was about anything you could do, I could do better. And in the end, Bryan Danielson won. And a lot of people want to run it back. I'm not going to stop him. And we've been throwing this out a lot. We as wrestling fans have been throwing out the term match of the year this year. This is definitely a match of the year contender. If you don't think this was a match of the year contender, you got something wrong with you. And just lightly touching on the rest of the card, there was just where was the bad match? Like I said that about All In, I think this was better than All In. All right, and I loved All In, but this was just even better in many ways. Where was the bad match? Where was the dud? Where was the one where the crowd just like wasn't into it? All right, uh, for Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, fans were into it. Julia versus Statlander, they were chanting, "This is awesome," and I really didn't think they were going to do that for one reason or another. They honestly wanted Julia to win, which shows how much they improve her character. And uh, Wheeler versus Starks, whole lot of fun. Uh, Eddie versus Shibata, oh my gosh, that was so hard hitting. And even MJF versus the Righteous, which arguably should have been maybe not on the card. MJF had that crowd in a frenzy because that's what he does, because he's better than you, and you know it. And then, of course, the main event of Darby Allin versus Christian Cage, the 203 Falls match. Like, I think they actually tried to kill Darby. They actually tried to kill Darby, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that's how much they were brutalizing him. I mean, just that whole step section was so awkward and so brutal that it actually made it work better than if they had done things properly. And then Nick Wayne turning at the end was awesome. And when Christian won, I'm just like, you know what? We don't need Edge right now for this to be a perfect pay per view. And then Edge showed up. That video, by the way, was made by Darby Allin. That entrance video with the car. Yeah. So yeah, we got Edge. Oh, I'm sorry, Adam Copeland. The rated R superstar, Adam Copeland, and it was awesome. I mean, we got I See Clearly. We got him doing the smoke entrance, the poses. Taz called him the Radar Superstar, and he's gonna be fun to have in AEW. And on that note, if you haven't checked out his Twitter feed, yes, he has a Twitter feed. He actually gave a long explanation about why he is in AEW and not still with WWE, and he perfectly called out how there are going to be some people who don't like that he went to AEW and didn't stay with WWE. But he made it clear he wanted to do more WWE. They wouldn't let him do it, and he wanted to have a new start in a fresh company, which is what we've heard for so many ex WWE guys. This isn't about, loyalty at times. This is about what's best for me and what I want to do in the wrestling industry. Bryan Danielson wanted to wrestle again, and he's done that all the time in AEW. Swerve Strickland wanted to be seen as a top guy in wrestling, and he's doing that in AEW. Tony Storm, Tony Storm said a lot of things, but I'm a star, dang it, I'm a star. And, on and on and on. They want to have fun. They want to be their best selves and wrestle. Look what happened with Christian. I mean, my gosh, there's no way they would have let him have this much fun in WWE, and that's just the truth. And I've already seen some cheap tribalism of like, oh, AEW are fools for signing him. It's going to take away from the young roster. What does he really have left? Just stop. Stop. Enough. All right. A, you don't know what AEW is going to do. B, we already know he can still go after that last match he had with Sheamus. And if this is what he wanted, this is his choice. He chose to come here. And AEW is better for it. How long it'll last? Who knows? But we all know they're not going to bury the young guys just because of Edge. They just had a main event with Darby Allin and Christian Cage, which made Christian look even better, and Darby all the more invincible. Even though, seriously, those chair spots, the step spots. So, just stop. Enjoy the dream that was wrestling last night. Like, oh my gosh, it was so incredible. That was easily one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. Period. And I said that about All In. I think this might have been better than All In. So, ooh, what a night. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, AEW is the home of professional wrestling and rated R superstars, and is the best wrestling company in North America, if not the world. And you might be thinking, but Todd, isn't there other wrestling that I can watch? Is there though?